Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
I've been thinking about this whole black and white situation a lot lately. I have been interviewed for the last couple of weeks on many radio and TV shows around the country and talking about this issue. And it occurred to me this morning as I am doing the show, really, that's when it occurred to me, that blacks are under assault in two different ways, two different manners. It is apparent to most people that black-on-black crime is bad. We all know about it, and we all know that it's bad, black-on-black crime, black people killing each other like 90 going north in Chicago and other areas. And we also know that the black leadership could care less about that. You see no protest over that. You see no burning down of communities. You see no bounties put on anyone's head about that. And yet, they're killing each other with guns and knives and beating each other to death. And there's nothing from Iraq or the NAACP or Sharpton, or it's no big deal. And what we see happening in those cases are physical deaths happening every day in a major way, and it's been going on for years. It's nothing new. And so we're aware of that. But what we are not aware of is that there is another black-on-black violence that is happening to black people by a different source. And because it's not physical, it's not recognized as an important issue. For an example, and I have some examples coming up. According to the scriptures, we are a spirit created in the image of God. We are not a physical, but we are a spirit that lives in a physical body. And so you see the physical bodies being damaged and killed and taken away in these urban areas around the country. But what we haven't discussed or noticed is that the spirit of black Americans are being destroyed as well. And they are being destroyed first in the homes when these boys and girls are born without a father and a mother together, and they have been raised by black mothers and grandmothers. They are being spiritually killed, destroyed. And that's why you see them on the outside of the homes, and in some cases inside the home, acting out in a violent physical manner, because it starts in the home first. And not all, but the grandmothers and mothers, black mothers, are killing the spirit of the boys and girls when they are born into the earth, into sinful parents. And it is a sin not to be married when you have children. The mothers are angry, so they lack patience. And not all, but most. They lack patience, so they yell at the kids. They slap them upside the head. They curse them out. Just the worst of the worst, so they're killing their spirit. And when they go out into the world, to the public school system, to out there in the world, you have the real violators of the spirit waiting to destroy them even more so. And those people are people like Barack Obama, Eric Holder, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. The names can go on and on and on. Louis Farrakhan, most of the black preachers who are not called by God but by their mama, the public school system, they are killing the true person by killing the spirit of these black folks, by building on the anger that is already there when they accuse white Americans for being the problems of black people, toward black people. When they say that you're hated because of your color, there is systematic racism in the system. The system is not fair because of your color. the officers, white officers, bad or treat you badly because of your color. And they are causing black people to hate white Americans. And when you hate white Americans or you hate your fellow man, you kill your soul. And so Barack Obama and others are doing this by killing the souls of black Americans, but it's not recognized as that, but it is happening. And so these people are worse villains than the black on black crime in the physical sense that we see in the streets and in the communities, because most people don't see spiritually what's going on. But these people are worse violators than those in the communities that are taking the physical body away from each other. And that's why they're able to control black Americans to a point that we see in Ferguson and other areas around the country, because the spirit is dead and the black leadership is killing it. Generation after generations after generations. They have this thing out of Ferguson where they say, hands up, don't shoot. They're pretending, because they know the truth, but they are pretending that the thug Michael Brown had his hands up, don't shoot, right? And it's not true, but they're pretending that so that they can encourage black Americans to hate white officers and hate white people even more so for their own personal gain, while at the same time they are traumatizing black Americans. It is a spiritual violence against them. And they're pretending to love black Americans when they really don't. It's hate, it's not love. Because anytime someone encourages you to hate your fellow man or hate yourself, then they don't love you. Even these black mothers and grandmothers who are doing this to their children at birth don't love their children either, all right? But no one has really pointed out that it's the black leadership who are killing black Americans as well. In this soundbite, you're going to hear Representative Hakeem Jeffrey. He's a Democrat from New York. He says, hands up, don't shoot. Fed up with police violence.
Hands up, don't shoot is a rallying cry of people all across America who are fed up with police violence in community after community after community. People are fed up all across America because of the injustice involved in continuing to see young, unarmed African-American men killed as a result of a gunshot fired by a law enforcement officer. People in America are fed up
Not true,
with a broken criminal justice system.
Create anger.
Hands up, don't shoot. The killing of Michael Brown and attacks by the Ferguson Police Department on protesters demonstrate an assumption that young women and men who are African American are inherently suspicious, a false assumption with deadly consequences.
We are running out of patience. Last week, the nation waited and hoped that justice would finally be served in the case of Michael Brown. We waited to hear our country say loud and clear, there are consequences for taking the lives of others. We waited to hear some reassurance that black and brown boys' lives do matter. But again, we were terribly disappointed and discouraged. The Ferguson grand jury's decision not to indict former Officer Darren Wilson was yet another slap in our face. It was a painful reminder that just like with Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice and so many others, that law enforcement officers kill our black and brown men and boys without repercussions.
Never let a crisis go to waste? These people are using everything to continue to kill the souls of black Americans. And if you didn't look up to these people, if they were not your leaders, you could see through the lie and the lies that they were putting out there, and you would see why they are doing it. It's all lies, and they are believed by a whole lot of black folks because black folks worship these leaders. And they are able to deceive them by causing them to become angry and destroying their spirit. They go on to say, well, some new folks here on the floor there, though we were elected Obama. This is from Representative Gregory Meeks, a Democrat from New York. He's the first that you're going to hear now. I heard we're in a post-racial America.
Though we've elected President Barack Obama here in the United States, I heard some say that we were in a post-racial America. No, we are not. For racism is still alive and well in the United States.
I saw this clip where the Rams players came into the arena. Hands up, don't shoot. It was a John Carlos moment because this has become the new symbol, a new statement, a statement wherein people around the country now are calling to the attention of those who don't quite understand that this is a movement that will not dissipate.
Let me say that I also admire the young St. Louis Rams players who raised their hands to be able to share in the dignity of those young, peaceful protesters. If we don't affirm nonviolence, then who will? And I think everyone, law enforcement and others who agree or disagree, should recognize young people, like the ones in Houston, Texas. Don't shoot. That does not in any way denigrate or disrespect our law enforcement officers.
Where is the closure for Michael Brown's parents? Where is the understanding for the outrage and desperation of the black community? The fact that our country, the greatest country in the world, remains mired in race relations issues in the year 2014 is an embarrassment. We really should consider taking a long look in the mirror before we go to other countries lecturing to them about the need for democracy and tolerance.
Black on black violence. Back in a moment.